All right, let's kick off this class here. My name is Lonnie Toro. I'm a business strategist here at Upright, and today we are going to talk with Cal and hang out with Cal all about visual management. Today's three topics is going to be visual management techniques. So Cal, first to kind of go through and discuss like what are the standards to create a visual management methodology. Then we're going to move on to strengthening team communication and how this particular methodology can help foster communication between your leadership and also to your employees. And then also we're going to talk about the essential tools and guidelines needed to make this happen. At the very end, we're going to have a questionnaire, probably about the last 10 minutes. And inside, during that questionnaire, we're also going to launch a short little poll. So just be on the lookout for that. I'll let you know again at the end. But for now, I'm just going to introduce you to Cal Fox. He is now an implementation team specialist, and I'll let him take it away from here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here today. Really appreciate your time. My name is Cal Fox. Coming to you from Michigan, and I've got quite a few years experience implementing lean in different types of environments. And I'm particularly excited about this topic matter when it comes to lean. I think it's a really practical tool to have in your toolbox. So looking forward to getting started with you. Okay. So first, I'm going to give you a quick overview on lean. I think a lot of you are probably familiar with some lean topics. We're going to talk about what is visual management and then how it can help you in your organizations. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with lean. A lot of times it's associated with the Toyota production system. A lot of manufacturing type environments utilize lean to increase their productivity. I know at the user conference, we explored and provided a number of tools that support in lean environment and specifically what it looks like to apply lean in an e-commerce environment. Today, I'm going to introduce my personal favorite tool when it comes to lean, and that is learning to get your environment set up to visually manage it. A lot of teams think of things like Six Sigma and some of these complex statistical systems when it comes to lean, and I want to show you just a little bit more of a practical approach. So we are going to jump into that now. So what is visual management? In a nutshell, visual management is about immediate recognition and the ability to take immediate action. So an example of the difference might be if I'm taking a deep dive into some data and I'm really digesting a spreadsheet to extract data and things like that, that is not what I'm talking about here. When I'm talking about visual management, it really needs to be as simple as red means bad, green means good. And being able to engage people's brains in that way where I'm not having to stare at a workstation for 5 minutes in order to understand what's happening, because we want problems to really stand out quickly in a visually managed system. Moving on, so what are some of the benefits? Obviously, the number one thing that benefits you when you utilize a lean managed system, or a visually managed system, is it's a time savings. If I can walk past a workstation and I can understand what's happening at a glance, I'll have more time to focus on areas that might have an emerging problem, or I can work on removing roadblocks wherever there is in the team. Another thing is real-time updates. We're going to talk a little bit more about staging work in just a bit, but if I can walk by a workstation and understand the productivity level of my team members, I've got an opportunity to course correct if I see a problem emerging before it gets out of control. So an example of that might be like this team member's running out of product and I need to get them product before productivity stops. Another thing is just that problems can be dealt with on the spot to keep production going. Sometimes if a deeper dive is needed, we can set up a Kaizen event and really do a deep dive later, but this gives you the ability to remove a barrier for someone in real time. Whoops, wrong button. Some additional benefits. I really think it improves accountability amongst your team. When the scope of work is clearly defined for your team members, the cues that are available to them can help them communicate issues really quickly and effectively. So when you're able to identify and solve problems before they come roadblocks, the team's overall performance is naturally going to improve. It also kind of removes a lot of the distractions that you might find in a workspace, and allow you to problems to stand out more. I always talk about when you're on a lake and your boat's going through the water, you don't always see the jagged edges at the bottom until you lower the water. And then you can see where you might run into roadblocks. So when you're doing a visually managed system, you're in a sense taking away a lot of that distraction that hides problems. So with that, one of the things that this does and helps with is strengthening team communication. I want to talk to you a little bit more about that, kind of what the leader is responsible for, and then how we engage our team members with this. Number one, I think the biggest responsibility of a leader in a visually managed system is that they are to provide clear requirements and to set the tone for their team. So 9 times out of 10, when you're having problems in your organization, they're process problems, not people problems. So it's important to provide a process that's built in such a way that we set our teams up for success. A visually managed system should not lend itself to ambiguity or subjectivity. It also helps remove personality from our processes too, so that it kind of creates an equal playing field for everyone involved. But again, I want to reiterate that the number one responsibility of the leadership is to be a roadblock remover and to really find ways to make their team's day easier. When it comes to the expectations for team members, a great place to start when you are trying to establish this type of system in your organization is to have your team members own their own space. If you don't have 5S established in your organization, that is a great place to start to get your team acclimated to a lean culture. And again, it weighs on the management to provide clear operational standards in order for them to be successful. Then it's not Johnny or Susie's way of doing things, but it's the upright way or the goodwill way or whatever your insert organization. We want it to not be about how people want to do things, but a proven method for success that's easy for everyone to follow. And it's really important, I'll say this, when you're working through these types of things, it's really important to involve the people who are doing the work in a lot of that decision-making and improvement efforts. Some of the essential tools and guidelines that you want to do to create a visually managed system. We're going to talk about creating a visual workflow. We're going to go over some different tools you can use and equipment and reports that you might find as a real practical aid. So number one, when we create a visual workflow, the idea is to create visibility with all of your workspace. So you really don't want people hiding off of in corners. And what it does is it allows you to have an immediate identification of emerging issues. We want to get to those before they become a problem. And then the other goal is to have a rapid response roadblock removal system. That was a lot of R's, I'm noticing now. So really, those are the two most important things. Recognize that a problem is getting bad and you need to jump on it, and then a rapid response to fix that issue for your team member. Some of that, what that looks like is creating a central visibility of your workspace. You want to be able to